Well, let's put 10. We are NXT. Welcome, everybody. We're here live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am your host and your commentator, FRJ from FRJ Productions. No matter the time zone you are in, don't worry because we got a special show for you all today. However, before we get to any of the major matches, we have the general manager to make his way to the ring and make a, statement among the NXT and WWE universe. We cannot wait to see what happens there, so leave it at that. And tonight, guys, we plan on going to 205 Live, and to let everybody know, the scheduled pay-per-views of TLC and Elimination Chamber are planned and scheduled to take place this Saturday, which would be July 18, 19, 20, 21st, the 21st of July, Saturday. And again, that is the current plan. So welcome Adu, Charles, and Stannis. Glad you all can make it. But now let's go ahead and get down to business. Let's go ahead and get the GM right down to the ring, guys. It's going to be good. Of course you're on NXT, Madu. What up, Bruce? All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you go ahead and please welcome the current general manager of NXT, Mr. William Regal. All righty then. Welcome, Las Vegas natives, to NXT, and we're going to go ahead and tell you all about a special tonight. The main event, Lee J. Mackey and Brandon Collins will square off for the NXT North American Championship as Brandon gets his rematch clause. And guys, we've heard your voices throughout the NXT universe about how the TakeOver main event lasted and ended. So with that being said, next NXT's main event, Lars Sullivan will get a rematch against Lucas for the title in a Falls Count Anywhere match to make up for TakeOver. Now guys, here is the last blockbuster main attraction announcement that needs to be made because it is going to change history here at FRJ Productions. We are going to have cross platforms. We are going to be introducing another combat sport to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, you may know this upon as Undisputed Fighting Championship, abbreviated for UFC. We are partnering and collaborating with Young Cruz from the Young Cruz YouTube channel, and now he is going to be bringing those festivities onto this platform, and we are looking forward to bringing that on to each and every single last one of you. Creations will be started immediately following 205 Live a little bit later today. And guys, if you have any questions or any statements to make, please feel free to state them all down below. So, there you have it, guys. Bringing multiple combat sports to the channel, which is now going to be WWE Wrestling and UFC Undisputed Fighting Championship, and I can't wait to see how that progresses, guys. And you know what? Like, again, if anybody, we're seeing the positive feedback. We like what we're seeing. I like what I'm seeing. And again, if any questions are need to be stated, go ahead and fill them out because we're going to actually interview the host of the UFC product and the person who will be responsible for the upcoming show to take place, and that is none other than, Mark Cruz himself. And so, we're going to go ahead and, you want to switch spots with me or Angelo real quick? Because I'm going to interview him real quick. He's been waiting for this moment for quite some time. And what I'm seeing here is that Tommaso Ciampa won the NXT Championship, so that's pretty cool. All right, so Angelo, here we go, man. This guy I want to talk to here, and it seems that you're pretty excited too. So, you're here to see NXT with us. Koniko, Tuja, and Tamina. You probably don't really know too much about them, but they're very interesting superstars and competitors. Koniko currently is undefeated, and she's looking to extend her undefeated streak here tonight. Tamina, downfall, just no good whatsoever, right? So, I don't know. We'll see how Tamina does tonight. I mean, we've seen a lot of upsets here on NXT throughout the past month and a half. So, I mean, it's definitely doable. But you know, Koniko's she's a high prospect. She's projected to do many great things here on NXT, and maybe one day could possibly be the next individual to take on Ashley for her NXT Women's Championship. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get these entrances out the way. Let's get the first match going here, because you know we want to see. We want to go ahead and talk to you about UFC 3, the new combat sport that's going to be introduced here. And then again, creations. You're comfortable with making creations today, right? It is today. Okay. So, you know, we're gonna have a potential 21 slots open for 21 slots are going to be available to individuals in the comments or throughout the channel who are fans of the what would you call it? MMA, right? Yeah, MMA, mixed martial arts. So we've seen that happen before. This is going to be the first time we introduce it here. And, you know, we've seen you do it, and we've seen Jerix do it. Although Jerix doesn't like to pronounce it as UFC, he pronounces it as YFC, as YouTube Fighting Championship, I assume. So anyways, let's go ahead and ask you a couple questions here. I don't think we have any for here right now. So again, guys, if you want a guy on UFC 3, that will be a creation stream later on today, immediately following 205 Live, which will take place after this episode of NXT. So yeah, Angela, man, I need to ask you something, man. A couple of things, actually. I know you're very happy and excited. What brought you into love for mixed martial arts and even UFC?
Let's see. Well, because after I stopped watching WWE, I started watching a lot of UFC, and I just thought maybe I can one day do commentary and have my own thing for UFC. And one day I brought it out, and it just everyone loved it. And then I did it for a couple months, and then it died down a little bit just because stuff happened and all that, and that's why I stopped doing UFC too. And then I tried to bring it back, but I really try to think about it, but that's, but now I just think it's gonna hit really good when I do it and all that, so hopefully it's gonna skyrocket.
Okay, so we've had a couple people here say, like Les Silva, he said his creation for his guy he wants to have, he's gonna have a lot of tattoos, and he thinks it's gonna be a little bit complicated for you to create. Do you believe there's any person that may be a little bit too hard for you to make?
No, I'm familiar with making a lot of tattoos, because as you can see my guy later on, you can see he has a bunch of tattoos, so I can really manage to do a lot with tattoos or anything that you need on the character. So I don't think it'll be hard.
Yeah, because I've seen when I started watching your UFC series that you started back, what was it, a year ago? Or was it?
Yeah, exactly a year ago.
So a year ago when you first started, it took off the first day, and I was like, whoa, that's actually impressive, because I've seen you try to do a lot of different series, and UFC was the one that really took off, and it made something very special out of you to make a brand out of. Yeah. And I don't know, like you said, you had a lot of different issues with different certain things inside, not really too much inside, but mainly outside of the channel and production, stuff like that. But every time you brought it back, it seemed like to never really lose momentum at all whatsoever. So, do you think you can still bring in that momentum as soon as you start it off, when we get ready for, the characters all situated and to start having some fights and things of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could bring it back. I mean, I know I haven't done it in forever. Everyone's been asking, but I think I could bring it back, but it's going to take me some time here and there to get my commentary back. So I mean, I think I could bring it back from what it used to be. But all in all, I think it's going to be a good series for UFC 3.
Okay, yeah, because I've seen your commentary in both UFC and the WWE episodes and series that you've had, but to me, I've just seen there's it's just a little bit different platforms to you to try to cross upon.
Yeah.
But again, I think that there's a little bit more love and passion for MMA, and I think that you're going to bring a lot more exciting vibe to the sport and just a whole new look to it, rather than what you've been doing with WWE. Do you think even though you're a little rusty, you can bring back that kind of motion?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't like WWE. It's just like the commentary of WWE is kind of hard for me to get. Like, I don't know. I just never had the feeling for WWE. I know people ask for that too, and I just never got the feeling for WWE. But when I did UFC, it was just like it just hit me so good. It's like I could do this, and it's like I just feel like I'm at home when I do UFC commentary.
Yeah, it's a special connection you've had because it just, something you can relate on. You got a little bit more experience with it, and I guess you could say it's just you have a better knowledge for the sport rather than wrestling, even though you could do both. But it just seems that you could tell which one you're more articulate with, and that being UFC and anything that's MMA related. So, even though it's going to be a little bit different platform and things of that nature, do you think we can see as much or maybe even more excitement to the new series that's going to be brought upon?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more things than before what I used to do. There's going to be more tournaments and all that, Just because last year, I didn't really have anything planned. I just started it, So, I mean, this year I kind of thought about what I was going to do for my fighters, everything in UFC. But this UFC series is going to be so great, it's going to be better than last year's UFC 2. So I think it's going to be way better, to be honest with you.
Okay. So, what do you plan on doing a little bit differently so that it's just an improved product of what you did than last time?
I mean, I really didn't do nothing last year, but I did try to do tournaments, but they didn't work how I wanted it to. But this year, since it has more, I can work on more things for the tournaments. The tournaments are going to be way, way better. I'm talking about excellent. Yeah, I think it's going to be better, way better. But I don't know for sure. I'm not saying I'm promising it's going to be better, but it's like some things about it is going to be a little more changing than last year's UFC 2.
Right. So Madhu actually asked earlier. He said, "Is the show going to be on your channel?" But I don't think a lot of people realize that it's actually going to be on here. So it's going to be a little bit different, but it'll be like again the same. And due to the game's improvement, the tournaments will also improve through different variations, and it's gonna it'll be just as the same and just as exciting, but different. A couple of few things different here and there that'll try to improve it in an overall status. So this year, I think it's there's 22 characters that could be made on there. Is that more than last year's game, or is it just about the same?
I think it was the same actually, but last year, like I told you before, there wasn't that much people that showed up, so I had to delete some characters, It's not that because I don't like them or anything, it's just because if people don't really show up for a certain amount of time to watch the fighter, the character will have to be deleted. So I'm not saying that I'll delete on purpose, but if you don't show up, at least half the time or something to watch your fighter, then your character has to get deleted and all that, just for other people can have their characters too.
Yeah, agreed. So Toxic, Madhu, Nick, other people who said that they want to have a guy, remember, just come to the stream after 205 Live. It's going to be a creation stream of UFC. And, if you want your guy, make sure you're there. Make sure you're present. We'll make a list of people who are scheduled to go in order. Those who missed their scheduled time will have to go at the bottom of the list. And, that's just all we can say about that. And remember, if you want a guy, if you want to be one of the 21 slots, just show up to the UFC creation stream, which will take place after we're finished with 205 Live. And then from there, I mean, you can get your character and just take it from there. Well, we're going to have, like, how many weight divisions? Like 7 weight divisions? 5, 7 weight divisions?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm trying to hopefully get some fighters in every single division, so I know, we can have more fights instead of having into the same weight class. So it could be more interesting because there's more fighters and all that, than on heavyweight. So hopefully we get more fighters on different weight divisions and all that.
All right, so Madu wants to fight in the bantamweight, and I mean that's a good start, right? Because a lot of people like to be like welters, light, and heavyweight classes, but we got one to vouch for the bantamweight, and I usually when I hear bantamweight, I think of women's fighters, but there are some male fighters in the bantamweight.
Yeah.
There? Okay. So we've seen. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we've seen the different weight classes, but you said the most you've ever had was at least one person in every single weight division. You had every single weight division have at least one or maybe two?
Yeah.
1 or 2 people in there. So that's the goal again for this time around?
Yeah, because I like to go around different divisions and be just because there's different fighters in it, like I said, so I want everyone to be in different weight classes so I can be exciting, because it's there's more fighters, not seeing every person fight the same person every night. So it'll be interesting if a lot of people go on different weight divisions. I'm not saying you have to, but it'll be great if they can, because it'll be way more fun, because there's I think more than 10 fighters in each weight division. And I mean, imagine, because we're going to have 21 people, and we can equally split them up and put them in each weight division, but it's really up to how they want their character to be and where they want them to be at.
Okay. Yeah, so, this concept's a little bit new because, we're pretty much a wrestling platform to combat sports. But a lot of people don't know is that if you're a heavyweight, there are chances you can jump down to a light heavyweight, but what's the most that an individual person can jump from, 3 different weight classes, maybe even 4? Is that even possible, or is it the maximum only 2?
I never seen a heavyweight go down more than one weight division, just because it's hard for them to lose so much weight, and but I do see a lot of welterweights going up and down in the weight division. So whoever is going in the lightweight or welterweight, you can easily move up and down, just because it's easy for you, not because I've seen Conor McGregor do it, and he's been moving up and down for past 2 years or so, just to get championship bouts and all that. I mean, I think it's possible, but not for a heavyweight. I mean, they can move down once, and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're a heavyweight, which is the max weight to have in all the divisions of UFC, the most titles you can end up holding is 2, which would be light heavyweight and heavyweight. But if you're a welterweight, you could potentially reach up to 3, possibly 4. I don't think it's ever been done before, but 3 is probably doable, right?
Yeah, 3, 4. If you get 4, I don't know how you did it, but I will say congratulations, you're kick-ass, But 3, yeah, I see it all the time. But 4, you must be crazy. You must be the badass person. And UFC, yeah, you must be crazy. You must be the GOAT already. But I mean, I'm willing to see that happen, but if I see this happen, that'll be the first ever in my UFC, career, basically, I should say. But yeah, that'd be crazy if I see somebody get 4 bouts, and I don't know what to do. I'll probably be speechless like I am right now.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because I think the most I've ever seen out of all of them was 2, but I think if someone can reach 3, then you already know that's going to be something special.
Yeah.
That'll be something already never done before, and that's already a potential GOAT status at least. We'll have to wait and see when we get down that road, guys. So, those are pretty much the simple things you should and would need to know. But pretty much, if you just never want to really jump up and down different weight classes, you can stay in one weight division your whole career and fight different various fighters and potentially just be the longest reigning your division world champion in history. It's completely fine. Nobody will bash on you for it unless somebody else called you for it and you have a chance to, but then you back out. But that's just about it. But nobody's going to judge you or anything like that. So, we'll just wait and see what happens from there. Because, I'm excited to see some fights again. But, I want to ask you, when was the last time you actually hosted and commentated over a UFC MMA fight?
I literally had to say like literally a year.
Okay.
Yeah, a year, and I mean I watched go back and watch my old videos and stuff like that to see what I done so I can prove what I, you know. But I mean, yeah, it's been a year, but hopefully I can bring it back and do pretty good. But that's the only thing I'm hoping, that this can go pretty far. But I'm not saying it is, but I'm just hoping it does, though. That's it.
Okay, so you know that for the first time in approximately a year, you're going to actually host and commentate not even one, but probably multiple fights. So when you think about that, what are the emotions going through your body? Like, do you got the butterflies? Do you got that overwhelming sensation that, wow, I'm going to be able to do this again, and it's going to be something special. It's going to be introduced to a new platform, same product but new platform, and even some of the same fans we've had on your channel, because, you know, we've had Suicide Savage and Prankster, right? They've been over there. They usually come back here and there, and I'm pretty sure as soon as they hear and read the news on this, I mean, they're gonna be like, we're coming back. And maybe even some other fellow superstars and fighters that you've seen on the Young Cruz channel. So I mean, again, what's that emotion like?
I mean, it feels good coming back, but at the same time, I kind of feel like inside, like, I'm not going to do too good as a commentator, so I'm going to try my hardest. So when I get these creations and everything down, I'm going to get the first fights, everything done. But I'm going to try my hardest to be not the best commentary, but the commentary that I was a year ago. So hopefully it does go and as the same, but hopefully it does bring it up a little bit. And I feel good, but at the same time, it's like, it's a year ago. I'm kind of rusty, so I'm gonna try my hardest.
Yeah, it happens. But yeah, so pretty much the goals in mind. You just wanna bring in the same satisfactory commentary and product that you have done before. So you say, you know what, I want to bring that same thing. If I've gotten better, then I want to show that. But it might take a while, right? Because it's a little bit rust. But I think you're gonna do it though, regardless. It just takes. I think you'll do it like the same night you host the event, because sometimes it takes 1 or 2 matches, maybe just takes 5 seconds. You're just like, okay, you're in rhythm, it's just going off like a rocket ship. And Charles says hi to you, by the way.
Oh, what's up, Charles? But the records of last year, if anyone that did have I know Bruce had one, I know Charles had one. I don't know if they want to keep the record. If they want to keep the record, they can have it. But some of the records will be erased and refreshed. So we're going to have a fresh new start on some records. So if Charles and Bruce, if you guys want to keep your guys' record, just tell me, and then I'll keep the records recorded and everything, and it'll be good.
Yeah. So if you were to keep the records, would there be fighters who keep their titles, or would you prefer to pretty much have default champions and kind of give everybody that fresh look to get back up to a world title status?
I mean, I had a few champions, but they lost it, so...
so that don't matter then?
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter now. But, let's see. What else did you ask again? I didn't...
Oh, so it seems like Charles, he doesn't want it. He says he wants like a fresh new start. Okay. So it seems that maybe everybody should just get a fresh new chance to start then, since there's going to be a lot of new characters, and we're going to see the same deal here, you know. I don't know, it's up really up to you, because again, you're going to get the whole control creatively, promotionally, and just everything like that. So I mean, the last call's on you, but I'm just throwing out suggestions.
Yeah, some people, like Bruce, like he asked, your record I think was like 15-5. You had the second best record. Boas had the first. He was like 17-2. He had the first, but if you want to refresh it like Charles does, then it's good. I mean, I'm willing to restart everybody's records and start over again. So I mean, I'm willing to have a fresh start and all that, which I'm very happy to do that, because my record wasn't really that good in UFC 2. It was
like you had 3 more losses.
I had 4. I was 4-6, but at the time I didn't know how to do things. So now I know how to do things and make my guy better. So, but all in all, every character doesn't make the same overall. No one's not going to be higher than anybody. But if you choose to have a certain fighting style, that particular spot will be higher. So like, say if you're, I don't know, like kickboxer and you want your kicks to be high, I could put those high and everything's gonna be low. Not very low, but just, you know, how can I say this? Average, basically, just an average.
Fair.
Yeah, fair. So like, say if I have like a specialty and I want it a little bit high, then yeah, I could put that high and everything. What would you say again? Fair, yeah. So I mean, overall, everyone's going to be the same overall. Once I think you have progress to a good start, and I know you're good, your overall we can bump up to like 1 or 2. And then I'll tell you about more things later if you guys ask and all that.
Okay. So when you're ready for a question from Charles, he wants to know one of 2 things. Or he wants to know 2 questions. The second question really based on the first question. So first question is it males only, and if it's not, can you make a sister?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't sexist or anything. Like, yeah, I mean, I really didn't have that much girl fighters. Last year I only had like 3, but I'm willing to have more girl fighters too because, I mean, I don't know. I still, yeah, it mixed it up a little bit, but I only seen like 2 girl. I only commentated 2 girl fights last year, and it was great. Like, it was like the best fight I've ever seen. But I mean, yeah, it's both males and females.
Okay. Yeah, so Bruce has also stated he wants a fresh start. So Bruce and Charles, who are going to be returning fighters to a whole new, not really a whole new style, but like, you know, a new platform, which will be introduced. A fresh start. So pretty much fresh start for him and Charles. I don't know if Bowles will come back. I mean, we can definitely contact him and see about that. Prankster, he's not really that much of a hard man to find, or a hard guy to find, so we'll probably end up asking him too, because I know he was a pretty good fighter. He was the light heavyweight champion at one point. He was one of your first, I think, first or second.
Yeah, first champion.
Yeah, first champion. The light heavyweight division. So again, we could definitely contact him because he's a big fan of the UFC fighting sport and all that. So you know, we'll see what happens. He's not really that hard to find. So when we contact him, we'll leave it at that. So yeah, do you think if you were to rate yourself, how many people do you think you could probably end up making today? Because again, out of 21 people, I don't know if you can get the whole thing done, but I'm not trying to insult anything. I'm just saying, like, based off of the past of how many guys and girls you made in one day, what do you think you can crack today?
Okay, well, a year ago when I first started, I think I made about like 5 or 6. Yeah, 5 or 6.
Okay.
But I'm willing to do as much as I can tonight, but I think I can make about like, I mean, I think I can make about 3, because, I mean, I'm not saying that no one's coming to the stream, but I'm saying I think I can make 3 or 4 tonight, at most. But hopefully I can break that and make it about like 7 or 8. Doesn't matter though.
Okay. So Charles says he loves the UFC so much. Bruce says he was the first person to tap out the champion. I guess it was a title match, was it, or was it
against Boas? Yeah.
Okay. And you know, do you think, based off of the new engine that UFC 3 runs than UFC 2, do you believe that we could possibly see some more tap outs and submission victories? Because I'll tell you this, 2K18 for wrestling compared to 17 is a new engine, and there's more frequent submission victories than there was last year. I mean, do you think UFC 3 improved their submission engine, or do you think it kind of stayed the same and kind of kept it the old habit?
I mean, submissions it's not that popular in UFC because all you see is knockouts, and it's like, I'm not saying it's not amusing or anything, but it's like it's good to see knockouts, but submissions really hype me up because it's like you don't know what's gonna happen, you know, you don't know if they're gonna break out at the last second or something bad's gonna happen, you know, and it's crazy. It's like I love submissions, and it's like seeing other people do it makes me hyped up, and then like my commentary just gets so good. It's like, I don't know, I just get speechless when I see somebody do a submission. It's crazy, blows my mind.
Yeah, okay. So you've seen a lot of different styles. You've seen probably like what, strikers, brawlers, balance, submission specialists, and I can't remember the other one. But you've seen them all, right?
The striker, bar, and
balanced, submission specialist, and
there's one more.
Wrestler, grappler, or something.
Oh, wrestler, yeah, there you go,
wrestler. Okay. So we have a lot of wrestlers that want to go to UFC. I mean, there you go. It's the perfect background to start off on.
You can see how they do, and see how they do in the real wrestling and UFC and all that. See what they can do.
Okay. So I guess the easiest people to make would have to be probably Charles and Bruce, because you remember almost what they look like completely, so it'll be kind of a quick session. Are you excited to see some of the new characters to be brought upon? I mean, we've seen a lot of guys that you've never seen before, even some that I've never seen before in a platform as yours, or even I don't think I've seen a lot of people on yours at Jerix's. So these are going to be completely new guys and gals to join up on. Matter of fact, Toxic and Madu, they both want guys, and they just won their tag match right now against TM61. So do you think they got some potential in the UFC octagon?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think so. But last year I had some big people. I'm talking about, like, these guys were huge. But most of them were not good, but some of them were, like, excellent. These guys went, like, 5-0 and all that. It was crazy, but, I mean, I'm willing to see new faces in the UFC.
Right on. So Bruce has a question as, are pay-per-views going to be in this UFC that you bring upon onto the FRJ Production channel?
Yeah. I'm working on some right now, just bringing up some names and stuff like that for some pay-per-views, and then we'll let you know farther what we get so far.
Okay. So instead of a traditional UFC pay-per-view, UFC in real life, they named them like UFC 125 or like 212 or something like that.
Numbers, yeah.
So, but you're a little bit different style. You don't do UFC 1 whatever. You probably say UFC and then pay-per-view name. Like, you actually brand it as a name to where it sounds like a legit pay-per-view instead of just like, oh, I don't know what those numbers mean.
Yeah.
And so, I think if you brand, like let's say you have a big main event, like let's say if you had like that Brock Lesnar DC match at main event. I mean, what would it be called? Like, they call it UFC, I don't know, UFC 250. Like, what? UFC 250, that can almost be anything. I don't know who's gonna fight on that card. It's just the one fight's promoted, and everybody's gonna just spend their money to watch that fight. They don't know about the undercard, the main card, things of that nature. So I think if you brand it like you named one pay-per-view one time, Never Back Down, right? Like, that's a good concept. And I think, okay, well, you got two guys that never back down. They got two of the best records in their division, and they're gonna throw down for the world title of their division. I mean, again, I think it's just a brilliant strategy to bring upon, and for you to bring that back and just reintroduce it. That I'm excited to see that, and I can't wait to see the first full match card we see as soon as we get enough fighters, or just the fighters that you feel comfortable with having. Yeah. And I'm most excited for that first pay-per-view as well too. Yeah. So I think when you first come back, you're gonna have that overwhelming sensation of like, oh my God, this is here, this is happening again. And then I think you're gonna have it one more time for that first pay-per-view, and then you're gonna be kind of in the rhythm until you get a big main event, and it's like, okay, we're gonna get that again, and oh man, it's just a beautiful feeling. Because I know about those feelings. I've had those feelings when we've had big main events. Especially like even NXT, there's just a bunch of rookies on there, people say, but hell, not to me. I feel like there's a lot of big names, a lot of future main eventers. Yeah. The last big fight we had was, I think it was Lucas and Stannis for the NXT Championship, and it did not disappoint. It was really good. And then we've had other different showdowns as well on the main roster with SmackDown Live, Raw, even ECW, and sometimes 205 Live, So, I mean, it's just a natural feeling just of like how proud you are of how good you've built a card, and how proud you are of how you've promoted and built up your pay-per-view, especially all the way down to its main event, Mm-hmm. So I know you've had that feeling in the past, and I can't wait to see what you bring to the table, and especially with every single weight division, how you're going to handle them, how you're going to make them shine as bright as they possibly can be. Yeah. What weight class is CM Punk in?
He got it.
Welterweight. Yeah. Toxic with Zachary does not have a match tonight, unfortunately. Charles wants to know, can they pick the weight class they want to partake in? Yeah,
definitely. But I love to see, people in different weight classes. That's what I'm saying. I'm just giving them how can I say this, a suggestion. You guys can, go to different weight classes, and all you don't have to say in one. like everyone did last year. Last year we had a couple in everyone, but people wanted to move up and all that, make a big name for themselves, and I respect that because I would want that too. So I mean, yeah, you can pick your weight class, but I'm just suggesting to go to a different weight class and try to see what you like.
Okay. So yeah, I think you said the most weight classes somebody can potentially go to is 3, and that's probably if they're in the welterweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welterweight, what's between the welterweight? Because
I think
I don't really know the natural order.
Heavyweight, light heavyweight, and then lightweight.
Middleweight? Oh, welterweight?
No, middleweight or welterweight, I'm not sure. And then featherweight and then welterweight.
Okay, okay, so welter can fly between flyweight and middleweight, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see, I want to be light heavyweight in UFC, so Toxic, he would like to be light heavyweight. And again, people are welcome to be whatever they want to be a part of. Bring in your characters, man. Whoever wants a guy, again, bring a part of it after 205 Live is done streaming. Bring in the UFC creation stream, and whoever, first come, first serve, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
First come, first serve. So
I'll probably write down the names in a little bit, and put them in order and all that.
Yeah, so say male or female, and then say the weight class, and then he just takes it over from there. I mean, it's just simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. Leave it at that. This time, Bruce. I mean, if you're starting over, right? I mean, yeah, welterweight. How did Lee J turn ginger? I don't know. What's up, MCDP? It's flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, lightweight. Okay, so welterweight could probably go between light and middleweight then. Yeah. Pretty, not easily, but it could happen. Did you download my character, FRJ? Actually, I wanted to ask you about that too. Let me move over here for a second. What I wanted to ask you was, what were the hashtags? Because I never found the picture just yet. So if I were to get the hashtags, that'll do wonders for my life, and things like that. And I'll be very much appreciative. And then we can get whenever you have a match on Raw, you'll definitely see the new and improved, nature of your character. Oh, also, any news space to get the new? Nope. Unfortunately, not yet.
Alright, Tom wants to go first. I can start running the radio now.
Yeah, well, I think you could do it now, but you should probably wait because some might not actually show up. But when they do show up, then it's like...
When I write them down,
Okay. Yeah. So I know Madu wants to have one. Charles, just write Charles and Bruce first. them right off the bat. Came a match on ACW King Joker. Well, I haven't got the card yet, so it's really up to when I get the card from the GM. Besides, you don't have to worry about the next time you have a match, because you will have a match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view King Joker as you defend the tag titles against, I believe it's Enzo and Cass. So you write Charles and Bruce down?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. So Toxic, you just put Toxic down. And then I'll tell you how to spell Madu. It's M-I-D-O-U. There's a few that wanted to be up in there. When will the first UFC show stream? Honestly, we don't really have a date, but we've been talking about it, and it could be as early as, I believe we said Friday, or probably as late as Sunday.
Yeah.
For the first UFC stream that we have here. Yeah, we know, Charles, we know. So when do AOP want the rematch? Probably next NXT, guys, because the next NXT, it's going to be the NXT year-end awards to those who have competed and fought upon the NXT brand exclusively, of course. And then the next time we have a Raw, that will take place after Elimination Chamber, so that probably won't happen until maybe Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully that's the plan at least. So when we get there, that'll be the Slammies. And here's the cover. Cody Wolflet trying to lock it up. Nope, not quite. Almost, but not quite. Getting there. It was no more Mr. Loser, but something happened. Oh, okay. Now let's see Cody Wolf try to put the match away again, and he's sizing him up. Spinning back heel kick right across the cheekbone, and that should actually win the match here, too, and it's not. if I can't win the Rumble, I need to fight Undertaker at WrestleMania. Okay, we'll see what happens. So NXT, the end is basically Slammy's, or year end, not the end, year end is basically the Slammy's for NXT. Yes, instead of getting a Slammy, trophy, you get a plaque. It's like a. I don't know how to explain. You get a ring bell in the shape of a plaque. Like, okay, you know how a ring bell is, right? Well, you get it like a plaque form where you can hang it up on the wall. You know what I mean? Did you hear my message? I know. Ignore me, SL. So DJ, we're not planning on having a Raw or SmackDown Live tonight because today is going to be our last wrestling show before Saturday, where we're going to have the TLC, which is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, and a co-branded Elimination Chamber pay-per-view between SmackDown Live and ECW. So yeah, that's pretty much the plan there. So the next time we have an SDL may not be until like maybe Monday perhaps. But yeah, that's the plan. Your game erased everything? Oh Lord. So me and Madhu qualified to be nominated for an award. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really looked at the awards. We probably won't make and consider any awards until we get to the next NXT. We're gonna start, well, probably Sunday or probably the day of. We'll make some awards for the Slammies, and then the day we do the next NXT, we'll do the awards and come up with some for, the NXT year-end awards. He's a Monday Night SmackDown. Well, yeah, guys. So if anybody else wants to ask any questions, I mean, Young Cruz is going to be right there. Again, he's going to be bringing the UFC platform Combat Sports to the FRJ Production channel, and the first stream is going to be, well, today after 205 Live. Again, if you want your character created, all you got to do is show up and wait your turn to be created. And once he's at the at a comfortable level of fighters to have to compete in the MMA world, then that's when we'll be ready to start the first night of UFC showdowns and things like that. And remember, it could be as early as Friday, which would be 2 days, and it could be as late as Sunday, which would be the day after we have some WWE pay-per-views. So let's see, when it comes to match of the year, that'll go to me versus Madhu. I mean, it's a chance. After spending 3 hours of perfection, everything vanished. I'm done. You know how that feels? Yes. That happened to me all the time on Xbox 360. Me and my friends, we made our characters. We fought against each other on our own custom-made universe. And all the time, we've always had to remake them and restart our stats and all that stuff. It kind of sucked, but it happened. Here comes Cody Wolf sizing him up, looking for the Claymore finisher, and that should do it. Michael Thunder in a heap of trouble here. 2, and it's over. Cody Wolf wins the semi-main event match, guys. Congratulations. Let's see. Do you know how it feels? It doesn't matter how that feels. I don't want that dude get that belt. I want bro no U.S. belt place, FRJ. I can't do that for him. He won fair and square. He earned it. The next Real Deal Studios movie should be here very soon. Alright, excited to see how that turns out. I don't know, Toxic. There's a chance. Always a chance. See what happens. So congratulations to Cody Wolf on the hard-fought victory. Well-deserved. You know what? Scratch that. Well-earned here tonight. And we're going to move on to the main event, guys, because tonight in the main event is going to be for the NXT North American Championship. Lee J. Mackey defends his title against Brandon Collins up next, and we'll see how that all turns up and about. So yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. Brandon Collins had just lost the title at NXT TakeOver in a first blood match, in which was a very close contest, but ultimately fell short, got busted wide open, lost the title, and had a chance to become the first individual to hold both the North American and United Kingdom champion. It just didn't happen that way. Lee J was the first person to have that honor, so now he's the first person to be a two-time United Kingdom champion and the first person ever to hold both the UK and NA championships. Well, he's got to defend the NA title right here, right now, and we'll leave it at that. So does anybody else have any more questions for Mark for the time being? Because if not, then He's gonna just have a nice little marathon of what is that called? Is it Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Marathon of Mortal Kombat on his phone. Lord J, can I face somebody at WrestleMania? It got be US belt, maybe. See what happens. When I update my character, I will send it to you for sure. My character is available. All right, MCDP, tell me the hashtags, and I will write that down when you got that for me. Oh, sorry about that. He said, no more Mr. Loser. Alrighty then. Alright guys, so I think we're done with the questions for now. I want to go and thank you for answering all of our tough, hard, thought up questions on the spot, and I'm excited I'm going to stay here, watch the creations of a lot of UFC fighters. If not, then I'll be in the room and watch it on stream because, got to take care of the buttercup, but it just happens that way. So yeah, thank you for the interview today, Mark, and if you have any closing statement, that would be very well appreciative.
I don't have nothing to say, but hopefully I get some good fighters and see what we could do this year of good UFC 3, see what we can do. But yeah, thank you guys if you guys do show up. If you guys can, then it's cool. As long as we get some fighters in for this Friday or so.
Alright, there was Mark Cruz, guys, and now let's go ahead and get ready for the main event of NXT. The North American title up for grabs. Brandon Collins getting his rematch clause. It's do or die time. He needs obviously, because this is a must-win, he needs the victory. Good luck to both superstars as they've both gone through a lot. And, this is going to be special. It's going to be a special night for both of them. Let's see. Come on, Lee J. Good luck, Lee J. It's time, Lee J. Go out there and do what you do best. Redemption starts at the Royal Rumble. Well, Bruce, I hope you and Phoenix have a very speedy recovery due to the fact that, you guys have been subdued with injuries that will keep you out for the rest of the year. And again, I hope you guys have a speedy recovery and come back better than ever. So we'll see what happens. DJ Curtis says he is ready for UFC 3. Okay. So, DJ already know the rules. If you want a guy, show up to the UFC creation stream, and then we'll get you a character as soon as possible, and we'll just leave it at that. And there's Lee J sporting the North American title for the first time in his career, and tonight he could be the shortest reigning champion. If he loses the contest, he would be let's see if we calculate it properly, he would be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. He'll be a 4-day champion if he loses, so hopefully that's not going to be the case here. Weren't you DJ ranting about F4J last night? He probably was, but, see what happens. Who's going to be the Hall of Fame? Well, DG, I can't really tell you that right now because we're getting close. Don't get me wrong, we are getting close, but we're not that close, and when we do get there, then I'll start saying, okay guys, this is the time and date, we'll start making some announcements, yada yada yada, and let's take it from there. Alright. And there's the champion going into the face of his challenger of the former champion, who's looking to become the first ever NXT North American champion twice in its reign. You can see LJM, abbreviated for Lee J. Mackey, is going to be ready for action here. He's got the eyes of a true competitor. There's a challenger and there's a champion. He's not even breaking a sweat. He's like not even taking it seriously right now. But we'll see if that changes right about now as Brandon Collins brings in a couple of power hits, a right hand and a knife edge chop, followed by a big time kick from his thigh region, kind of like a beauty shot, but not quite. You know, he got that wheelbarrow kick going in real quick. Oh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful, working on the legs of Lee J. You know, Lee J relies on his arms for quite a different variation of maneuvers, and you know, he can't really take too much damage there, otherwise it could be a terrible way to start off and potentially end the match. Rolling cutter comes in through, very excellent, and a drop kick is gonna, well, be effective. And Brandon Collins right now doesn't have to worry about bleeding. He can bleed all he wants. All that matters is this: he stays up before the referee hits a 3 count while he's on his back. And Lee J, I mean, he's got a champion's advantage. I mean, he's not no stranger to this whatsoever, you know what I mean? Thinking about it, he's been through a lot of matches, and right now, again, he's got the champion's advantage. He can win or lose the title by DQ or countout and still retain the title. So I don't think he's going to be focusing on too much of different strategies of winning and losing. He just needs to make sure that Brandon Collins stays down, or even Ed, if he has to result to it to keep the title, he can just, you know, do what he got to do. But we've seen how Lucas had a reaction when he retained his NXT Championship at TakeOver via countout. It was not pretty. If Brandon wins, can I have a match against him? If I could win, I could have a shot against him. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Right now, you know, Collins is a very excellent competitor. He's definitely a top 5 singles competitor here on NXT. He's been through a lot. He's been fighting through some stiff competition, whether it was on Raw's tag division or NXT solo division. And again, he's been, well, it's just really good. Hey, DJ Curtis, hey, you look at his video. Oh, look at this. He caught him up. He caught him up in a powerbomb form, and here it comes, looking for a snake eyes right off the turnbuckle, and Lee J now trying to stomp him out a bit here, trying to stomp him a mud. Ooh, man. Stone Cold style. How's it go? Stomp a mud hole, wipe it dry. And it looks like he got caught with a back elbow to the forehead. Here comes Collins, and he nails him. Ooh, beautiful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You know, not too many people can hit maneuvers like that, but when Collins is on fire, he can pull out just about anything from his sleeve and make it well known throughout the NXT universe. He means business. But so can Lee J with the counters. And look at that. Beautiful, man. Again, I just love seeing beautiful matches. Lee J Mackey, Brandon Collins never fall short of pulling that off of their, well, of their just greatness here. Future Shock DDT connects, and Lee J Mackey could have been 3 seconds away from retaining, but he decides to taunt instead. That could come back to haunt him. Or not. Hold on, let's see how that goes. Oh, yes it will. Here's a snapmare takedown, and now look at this. Collins got a submission locked in. He's wrapped him up into an abdominal stretch sit-out position. Very hard to get out of this, but if he can, he's going to make the best of it. And Collins needs to watch out for a potential comeback attempt that has the by all means a game winner written all over it. Oh, there's a hip toss, and the referee just steps upon, looking at the matchup, seeing what he can do, not too much. And Lee J looking to rebound him right off the ropes, and he pops him up in the air. Super kick, caught him on the chin. Still champion, it's over. All he's got to do is pin him and call it a day. Here we go as he hooks the leg in. Oh, wow, Lee J made a rookie mistake. He had Brandon Collins' left arm underneath the bottom rope, forcing the break from the referee. He had no choice, and now Collins goes, lays down, witnesses something dangerous. He needs to be careful here. And here comes Lee J. He got him with the high knee, Kinshasa style, diving from the top rope, and he didn't try to put the match away. What the hell, dude? Can't be doing that, man. Well, I'll tell you this much. He had let me see. Collins had a chance to turn things around. It didn't go that way. Instead, he's playing defense. And I gotta say that it ain't a good look for him. He's looking terrible out there. Here comes the double champion. He has him in position for, oh, I guess nothing really. No, you do not. I didn't get your hashtags, MCDP. Tell me the hashtags. DD shouldn't be able to compete in the UFC after I ended his career. I agree, Silva. Brandon Collins brought a few friends with him. There's Amigo 1, 2, and 3. They just associate as the family of 3 amigos. And Collins looks to recapture the North American Championship flying high risk. Here we go. And so the hashtags are no more Mr. Loser? Is it just one word, or is it spaced out like that? So I know. There's the cover. And another kick out. Brandon Collins should go high fly, man. He has him in a nice position. All he's got to do is make the climb. Or not. European uppercut. And he caught. Oh, never mind. Collins got caught. Lee J sets him in position. Off the second row. Uh-oh. Hold on. Is it spaced out like how he typed it, or is it one word? Like, no more Mr. Loser. Or is it no space, more space, Mr. Space, Loser? And here it comes again. Future Shock DDT. That should do it, guys. Still champion. He doesn't put him away just yet. He's got something else in mind. It better be good. Oh, he got caught. Looking like RVD out there. Beautiful back kick on the chin. And LJM sizing him up, but he gets caught knee in the gut. And there's a forward forearm. There's a strike on the back. Well, then the space one. Alright, so they are spaced out. Okay, no problem. Look at this. Moonsault! Lee J, the athleticism unseen. Near fall. The former champion's having a bit of difficulty competing in the matchup, and I don't think he's going to be able to last too much longer. Oh, look at this Hell's Gate submission locked in. And Brandon Collins escaped his left arm long enough to get in between the bottom and second rope, forcing the break again. And Lee J, he's got to be a little bit frustrated. If not, he's definitely fatigued after throwing in all haymakers and real no home run. I mean, you get tired after that. Hell, if a pitcher keeps throwing 100-mile fastballs and he keeps getting the fouls, you know, it's a tough fight, but the hitter's going to eventually beat the pitcher. That, or he's going to get lucky and get a bailout. Oh, here comes Lee J with a backstabber. Damn, excellent. Cover. Still champ? No. Collins able again to get the shoulder up. Uh-oh, one more time. It's a different submission. Or it's not a submission at all. Oh my god, he tried to rip the arm out of the socket of the former champion, and it ain't looking too good, but Brandon he's got one last chance. Oh, he got caught with a spine buster. And Lee J, he's looking to fly now, showing him how it's done. Here we go. It's bound to happen. What time is it? It's 6:30. The senton connects. To retain. Hurry, Lee J. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, my God. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. He's got him in position for the head scissor DDT. Did you see the way his skull bounced off the canvas? And now Lee J tries to win it. He's one move away. In position. The discus clothesline. Damn near decapitated his head off his shoulders. And that should do it. He got him. Lee J Mackey is still the NXT North American Champion. And it took him a long route to finish the job, but he did. And that's all that matters. Lee J is the first ever and so far only dual-weld champion in NXT history, as he is still the NXT North American Champion and, well, at the time being, United Kingdom Champion. Tonight, history is just staying intact. Lee J is definitely a top 5 fighter. You can even argue the second best, because right now, number 1 is undisputed. Overall, number 1. Congratulations to Lee J Mackey on still being champion, and the only thing left there is now is who's going to fight him for both of his titles. We'll find that out soon enough. Not too soon enough, but soon enough. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for now. We're going to go ahead and get ready for 205 Live. And again, once we are done with 205 Live, it is going to be, well, the UFC creation stream. Don't miss it, and we'll see you soon. Until then, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Until the next one, have a great one. For now, cut. And that's a wrap.